Texas AG sues drone giant for Chinese Communist Party ties in your hobby. Yeah, or is your hobby drone a security risk? I mean, possibly. Right, because it could be uploading that information to, right, to their database and shit. Right, all that data, that telemetry goes straight to their, database. A drone maker and a smart home device company covered up their ties to the CCP and put Americans' data at risk. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton alleged in a new lawsuit Anzu Robotics was accused of masquerading as an American-owned drone maker based in Texas while actually selling devices from a blacklisted Chinese manufacturer. Uh-oh, that's not good. According to a lawsuit filed Wednesday in U.S. District Court of Collin County, Texas, it's part of a calculated scheme to circumvent the U.S. government efforts to blacklist the Chinese drone manufacturer, known as DJI, over its deep ties in the CCP, the suit stated. Anzu Robotics products are nothing more than a 21st century Trojan horse linked to the CCP, Paxton said in a Wednesday statement, warning that DJI technology can potentially allow the Chinese government to collect surveillance data. Well, yeah, because the drones you're using. Well, depending on what you're using them for, yeah. His office is taking several targeted actions against CCP-aligned companies this week. Paxton added, including another lawsuit earlier in the week against TP-Link, which sells Wi-Fi routers and smart home devices like robot vacuums and doorbells with cameras. TP-Link's products are labeled with Made in Vietnam stickers, but the company's supply chain is deeply entrenched in China, exposing millions of consumers to severe cybersecurity risk. And Chinese hacking groups. According to a Tuesday lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court for Collin County, Texas, the claims made by the Texas Attorney General's office are without merit and will be proven false, a spokesperson for TP-Link told the Post in a statement. The company said its CEO, Jeffrey Chow, lives in Irvine, California, and its core operations are located within the U.S. Texas Gov. Greg Abbott has updated the state's list of prohibited companies to include both DJI and TP-Link, according to legal documents. Oh shit, TP-Link got fucking... TP-Link was one of the original like modem routers providers back like 20 years ago, right? And they still been going strong, or right? They still have their company, but yeah, it looks like now they're tied into a fucking legal dispute with the DJI stuff. So that is unfortunate. In January 2025, the Department of War identified DJI, the Chinese drone maker allegedly using Anzu Robotics to skirt national security blockades, as a company directly supporting the CCP. The Commerce Department has placed some export restrictions on DJI. Yeah, and here's the router, Wi-Fi router. In 2021, the Treasury Department revealed it had identified DJI as one of 8 companies supporting the biometric surveillance and tracking of ethnic and religious minorities in China, specifically Muslim Uyghurs, to support the government's efforts to repress religious minorities. Basically like that lie... what was his name? Lie something? L-I-A. He was trying to set up a Christian church in China. I forgot where. I think it was like Hong Kong or something. And, well, yeah, they didn't like that very much. So, yeah, they took him in. Oh. Uh, uh... Not that. I forgot what the guy's name was, but was it his daughter or wife? Tried to ask Trump if he could help get him out of detention or something like that. I forgot his name. To support the government efforts to repress religious minorities. According to Wednesday's lawsuit, Anzu Robotics drones are DJI drones in all but name, including identical hardware, firmware, software, and only a coat of green paint and an American label to distinguish them from their Chinese counterparts. The post has sought comment from Anzu Robotics and TP-Link. There you go. Yeah, fuck. Is this the one? Grace Jin Drexel, daughter of the detained Chinese pastor, Ezra Jin Mingri. Oh, was it Jin? I think I said L.I. Is urging U.S. lawmakers and President Trump to help free her father and other leaders of the underground Zion Church in China. Yeah, that one. Yeah, this is the one. Who were detained in late 2025, spreading Christianity and operating unregistered congregations. Jin Drexel, a U.S. resident, seeks intervention against the crackdown. The Zion Church, founded in 2007, was known for refusing to install government-mandated surveillance cameras in 2018, leading to the closure of their buildings. They continue to operate utilizing online and offline methods, which resulted in the 2025 arrests. See. Basically, the CCP wanted to install cameras to make sure they weren't doing anything shady. But, yeah. Instead, they had other plans and did not do that. So, in order to, get away from them, they tried to, do online and offline methods, and, well, the CCP don't like that, right? They got him. This was back in last year, November, yeah. Yeah, I guess I misremembered the name wrong. Whoops. Alright, Feds launch probe into California's blind eye on unemployment fraud. California officials who turned the blind eye to an unemployment scams, potentially worth tens of billions of dollars during the pandemic, will now be put directly under the microscope scope of the federal government. Uh-oh, we got another fraud case. Right, just like Nick Shirley looking into the voter fraud. Right, here we got unemployment scams and fraud, right? The U.S. Department of Labor is set to send a letter to the state's Employment Development Department announcing a strike team will soon be touching down in the Golden State to root out theft and abuse. Uh-oh. Best be ready. The feds are coming. The California Post has learned the investigation will be similar to efforts currently underway in Minnesota. Yeah. So, yeah. Just like how they're investigating the crazy amount of fraud in Minnesota with the daycare stuff, right? And with, right, how Ilhan Omar and, right, Tim Walz has been fucking, like, doing bullshit with their finances for the state, too. Financial issues and potential fraud in California unemployment insurance programs will be fully examined. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez Doramier told the Post in a statement while also taking a shot at former President Joe Biden. The previous administration turned a blind eye toward failing labor programs. This ends now. Federal investigators have been combing through financial records tied to Minnesota fraud schemes after prosecutors uncovered what they described as a sprawling web of pandemic-era theft, including the massive Feeding Our Future case. Right, all of this happened back in like 2017, 2018, 2019, right around that area. All right, with that one guy, I forgot his name. But he worked with Nick Shirley, right, in the Minnesota fraud stuff. He's in the video too. According to he was the first person to be investigating with the team, and then for whatever reason, the Minnesota government kicked them out from investigating anymore. So it's like, what the fuck? So yeah. According to federal prosecutors, nearly 100 people have been charged with crimes as of last month. The breadth of the fraud in California, however, could leave Minnesota's thievery looking like chump change. The feds provided California nearly $290 billion in relief funds during the pandemic, and EDD was among the largest recipients as it was tasked with rapidly implementing expanded unemployment benefits. In 2023, state auditors issued a report that found EDD made huge missteps in preventing fraud, allowing billions of dollars in unemployment payouts that may have been fraudulent. The total tab was estimated to be as high as tens of billions of dollars. Investigators have not always had to look too far to find the culprits. Last March, Regina Bryce, a former EDD employee, was sentenced to 66 months in prison for using her position to file a $858,339 in fraudulent unemployment claims. Holy shit. A month later, 4 siblings in Kern County were sentenced to prison for creating non-existent businesses to claim more than $1.1 million in unemployment benefits. Non-existent businesses? Does that ring a bell? Shell companies, non-existent businesses, right? What Well, right, that stuff is happening in Minnesota too, right? Some non-existent businesses are somehow getting fucking paid, right? Or getting claims on, right, unemployment or whatever benefits for, like, maybe the daycare, right? Childcare stuff and shit like that, right? EDD officials declined a request for comment on the pending investigation. Well, duh, because you might get into a fucking lawsuit. A new probe in California drawing federal investigators from both the national and regional offices appears to be partly motivated by the state's deadbeat track record. California lawmakers still haven't paid off a $20 billion federal loan for unemployment insurance claims during the pandemic, and struggling businesses are now being forced to pick up the ballooning tab. Employers are on the hook for roughly $42 in payroll taxes per employee to pay down the massive debt, and that tab will rise every year until the debt is cleared. Immediately, we are engaging a specialized strike team to uncover any potential fraud or abuse, and quickly moving to protect the American worker and taxpayers, Chavez de Ramirez said. I look forward to restoring the California unemployment insurance program's integrity and financial health. Earlier this week, the Labor Department's official watchdog announced that more than $900 million in COVID-19 era unemployment benefits was being misused or put at risk of being stolen. Roughly $720 million in unemployment insurance benefits is sitting on prepaid debit cards. What the fuck? Officials said while another $192 million was moved to state unclaimed property offices. Yikes. Right there, that's another way to cheat the system. Use a bunch of prepaid debit cards, right? Or you see those Visa gift cards where you can like add whatever amount of money into them you want, right? That's how they do that shit.